There's nothing better than going to a movie on a hot summer night. Maybe it's a romantic movie or a thriller. Well, it seems this year has had a lot of different types. Let's take a look at Hollywood's biggest hits of the season.
Summer is a time for giant Hollywood blockbusters. As always, moviegoers are split over which ones are epic and which ones are epic failures.
We have to go before they kill us.
Little brother.
What were some of the summer's most notable films? What big surprises should audiences expect to see next in a theater near you?
His tracks.
For some, he was a guardian angel.
Film critics and movie buffs alike can't wait to find out.
Others, a ghost who never quite fit in.
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive toward.
All right, we just saw a couple of the top summer flicks, and we want to welcome, of course, Jackie Guzda, media analyst. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, good to be here.
Let's talk about some of these movies, and I'll just start off by naming a couple of them. We've got, of course, we've got some of the animated films, but we got The World's End, we've got World War II, we've got Pacific Ruin, we've got a couple of these really heavy-duty movies that are talking about the end of the world and mass destruction. From a media analyst point of view, what does that say right now?
No, it doesn't cite that they're going to be doom and gloom. What it says is that people love to just live through fantasy, right, Doctor?
I agree with that.
Exactly. You know, we are not going to face, hopefully, the Empire State Building falling down and Manhattan going under waves of water. However, we can watch it and kind of live vicariously through it. We love the ups, we love the downs, we love the drama. And it's escapism from all of our normal problems.
And of course, Americans always like the happy ending too, Dr. Bart, and we always like to see that. But I will get back to that one subject. We see this year's movie list has a lot of death and destruction, and I'm just talking from my own personal. Maybe I'd like to watch just something, but maybe not watching the White House be put in ruin.
Well, I always say, and on this show as well, we all have different sides to our personalities, and there's certain sides that we all carry around where we like excitement, drama. And if death and destruction comes with that for some of us, we'll go there. We like the excitement. I think we also like the fantasy. There's certain parts of our being that likes this drama and excitement. So I think the movies are appealing to that.
All right, Dee Dee, what are your thoughts?
I'm with you. I do not like to see the White House blown up. I was at the White House on 9/11, so it really gives me the creeps. So I like action movies, and I think it's okay when it's the gladiators and it's like you're killing the bad guys and it's in space. But when it's our country and when it's the White House and when it's the Capitol blowing up, ooh, I don't know about that. To me, it's disturbing. So if it gets to that point, no thanks. But it does seem like this season there's been so much of it, too much for me.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that there just seems to be more on the list of the top 10 list. I mean, even Man of Steel was pretty dark. But let's just go take a look and make this a happy, fun discussion. What were some of your favorite movies this summer? I mean, we're winding down.
Well, I will say Man of Steel. I love that movie, but at the end it ended well. I mean, Superman. It's a positive character. It's not like when we talked about the Dark Knight with Batman. Superman, it's always like the truth, justice, and American way, and in the end, it was all good. So it's a happy ending at least.
All right, and Americans love that happy ending as opposed to some of the European films. Any favorite?
Well, I'm thinking about The Butler. I'm thinking about somebody who's going to give you a glimpse as to what's happened. A backdrop of what's happened at the White House.
Yeah, that's gotten some great reviews.
I have a feeling that's going to be very, very interesting to take a look at what the drama and what actually happened going back in time.
All right, Jackie, how about you?
Oh, listen, there's a movie coming out called The Wolf of Wall Street, and it's a Scorsese film.
Ooh.
If Martin Scorsese dropped a gum wrapper on the floor, I would watch it. So.
And open up the gum and chew it, right?
Exactly.
It's that good.
Yeah, he's a master, and I love everything he's ever done.
What about favorite films? What are some of your favorite flicks? Oh, you gave me the gasp, so Jackie, you get to go first on that one.
Raging Bull, 1980.
Raging Bull.
Mm-hmm. And that's a very violent film. Most of his films are.
And I love The Godfather, and that's violent. But it's so good.
On so many lists, the #1 top movie, Godfather 1.
Yeah, I think
so
that
good.
The Godfather always comes up.
Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh my, Doctor. Now I'm worried about you.
Well, I guess he's a psychologist.
That's just too much fun.
But you're a psychologist, so I guess that you kind of like the whole psychology of it.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was very, very dynamic movie. Yeah.
As a history major, I like the movies that really happen, based on true story, based on historic reference, and it's good to have the fantasy, but it's really, really wonderful when you learn about true history. So and when it's done well.
Right.
And of course, they've got a lot of animated films this summer as well. Despicable Me came out, so that's all wonderful. What about just going to the movies in general? I mean, it's what, $10, $13, depending upon where you go. Sometimes you get the coupon, whatever. Do you see that people might eventually not want to go to the movies because in 2 months, you can get them on DVD, you can get them wherever on your.
I don't think so. I mean, as the psychologist, I think it's a way of life, and I think it's like a part of our culture. It's part of getting out there, doing something, making it an experience, which is different than seeing it at home. So I think it's there for forever. I think it's going to be part of us.
Well, Hollywood loves that answer, by the way. So
No, look, that happened in the 1970s. Video came in, everybody was watching television every night, and so attendance at theaters watching film plummeted. And what saved that was what we're talking about now, those big summer blockbusters.
Right.
Jaws came out, Spielberg, Scorsese, all of those directors from the 1970s, they brought film back. And now you're right, it is a way of life. We would rather see those great big epics on a big screen and just live through it.
But what about those like romances and stuff like that? Like, we're not seeing as many of those on the big screen anymore. It seems like they're kind of going by the wayside. And Dee Dee, you're shaking
Yeah, I
your
think
head.
there's a reason for that, because I will wait for the romance, because it's going to be pretty much the same experience at home as it is in the theater. But the big blockbusters, I had to go see Great Gatsby on the big screen, and so thrilled because it was really magical. When there are movies like that, and whether they be adventures or they be something beautiful and cinematically gorgeous like the Great Gatsby, you want to experience it in a movie theater because it's really, you walk out, you're like, wow, that was incredible.
I also think action sells better
Well,
Well,
actually,
victory,
they
for
also
sure.
say that the younger movie goers will spend more money and they'll go more frequently, and they usually tend to be the action lovers, if you will.
And did you notice that they changed the theater, the actual culture in the theater? You can have a drink, you can have snacks, you can.
Not all theaters, but many.
But
Yeah.
many you have different chairs to sit in. It's a different experience, and I think they're playing into what people are looking for.
That's smart to make it more of an experience. 'Cause
Yeah.
if you can go have a cocktail while you're having the movie, that's great. But also with kids, they're wanting to get out of the house. I mean, they're wanting to have their dates. It's still a traditional, wonderful thing to do on date night.
Well, I would hate to ever see it go away, but as the ticket site prices keep going up, and some of the movies, there was a couple, I would say there was a little bit of they didn't have as many good movies. It seemed like there was a little lull in Hollywood. Final thoughts, though. Any final thoughts? Must-go-to movie for the summer?
Oh, well, I'm never giving up on the theater. I'd go to a movie every day if I could. I will have to say I saw The Conjuring, which was really scary and excellent, and it was based on a true story, so I would recommend that, but I think it's out of the theaters now, unfortunately.
Jackie, final thoughts?
Yes, I'd like everybody to go to the independent and foreign films
I'm
and
with you on
discover
that.
those. Let's make it a
Nice.
date.
I'm going to go watch Two Guns. I think I like the action.
Well, I'm gonna try out The Butler this weekend, so that's
Yeah,
gonna
The
be my
Butler would be
big
good.
one.
I'd like to see that.
All right. Well, as always, it was a pleasure to have everybody here on our panel, and as always, it was wonderful to have your company as well. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Mia Toschi. Enjoy some summer fun this week, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here on Fresh Outlook next week.